Hello, I'm Nico, and today I'm going to interview.
Charity Kountz.
What kind of books do you like to read?
I read all kinds of books. I read mainly thrillers and literary fiction and crime stories.
How long have you been writing?
I've been writing for over 20 years now.
How many books have you had published?
This is my second book. This is my first children's book.
How hard is it to get published?
It's a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. It took me almost 2 years to bring this one to publication. And I probably put in several months worth of work on an hourly basis doing this project.
What inspired you to start writing?
That's a great question. There's been a lot of inspiration over the years to write. It started off with one of my English teachers, and I started reading Stephen King at a young age, and I think that's about the time I decided, you know what, I'd like to do what he does. I'd like to make people enthralled with words.
What inspired you to write this story?
My girls. I have two daughters, a 11-year-old and a 5-year-old. And we were role-playing around the kitchen table one day with my oldest and came up with the idea with my husband and I, and a book was born.
Could you tell us a little about the story?
Sure. Jason, Lizzy, and the Snowman Village is about two children who move from Chicago to Texas, and this is their first winter in Texas. They are sure they're never going to see snow again. So they make a wish on a star to get snow in time for Christmas, and that wish brings them a lot more than they bargained for. And they go on a great adventure to save Christmas, and they meet a number of new friends along the way.
Why did you pick Chicago?
I lived in Indiana for a few years, and so Chicago just kind of seemed like a good idea at the time. And I've only lived in Texas for 2.5 years now. So having been up north and then moved here, I remember that feeling when I first moved here of it being, am I going to see snow again? I hope not.
Have your children ever seen snow?
Yes, yes. What little bit we get in Texas, they've seen. They've not really seen actual snow like what you get up north.
Have your children made snowmen?
No. No.
Why not?
Not enough snow here.
Are the characters based on anyone you know?
Lizzy kind of reminds me a little bit of my youngest, whose name is Liberty. We all call her Libby for short. So I've actually had several people ask me, well, is Lizzy really Libby? No, they're very different, but there's some similarities between the character and my daughter.
What is your goal for this book?
My ultimate goal is to just make Christmas brighter for anyone who reads the story. I really just want to give a little Christmas spirit to everyone who reads it.
What is your goal as a writer?
If I can make one person smile through my writing, if I can transport someone someplace magical, if I can give that experience of reading that I've enjoyed for so many years, then I'd consider myself a successful writer.
Do you know how many books you've sold?
Several hundred. I couldn't give you an exact count, but it's over 100 at this point.
What do you do when you're not writing?
I do a lot of the same things that most people do. I read, I watch movies, I spend time with my family. I'm a big CSI buff. I've watched every CSI episode out there. And that's all 3 versions of the CSI. That's not just CSI Las Vegas.
I miss Miami.
I miss Miami too. Oh, I found a fellow CSI buff. Yay! Yeah, I miss Miami. I miss Cali. But I also tweet obsessively. I love Twitter. I'm on Facebook all the time. So I'm pretty normal, all in all.
What do you do as a job?
I do a lot of things as a job. I am a office manager and operations manager for a retirement investment company called Retirement Capital. I own my own marketing business called Kountz Marketing Group, and then I'm also a published author.
does your job help with your book writing?
Oh, absolutely. If nothing else, it pays for some of the expenses that go along with doing the writing itself. So yes.
Who is your favorite author?
Oh, I couldn't name any one. I could probably tell you a couple. I am a big fan of Stephen King. Always have been, although some of his work is not as good as it used to be. I yeah, I hope he's not watching. Don't want him to hear that. Sorry. I'm a big fan of Terry Brooks, who's a fantasy writer. I read his Sword of Shannara series as a little girl, and he's one of the big inspirations behind me wanting to write fantasy in general. So those are the two that come to mind.
What is your favorite book?
Oh, I have to pick a favorite book out of all the ones I've read. Do you know how many hundreds of books I've read?
Okay, what's your favorite children's story?
I'd say Black Beauty is probably high on my list, followed by The Black Stallion by Walter Farley. I read a lot of the Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys series as well as a kid, so those are some of my favorites.
Do you have a Facebook page?
I do have a Facebook page. It is facebook.com/CharityKountzAuthor.
Do you have a website?
I do. It's charitykuntz.com. Are you getting a theme here? Basically, if you do a Google search for Charity Kountz, and it's spelled Kountz, unlike Dean Koontz, the author, you can find 10 pages about me on Google.
Where can people buy your books?
Right now, it's available for sale on Amazon.com. If you search for Jason, Lizzy, and the Snowman Village, you can find it as either a paperback or as a Kindle ebook. Beginning next year, it'll be in Barnes & Noble.
Well, do you have any ideas for future stories?
Oh, I've got tons of ideas, but book 2 will hopefully be out in the spring. It's called Jason, Lizzy, and the Ice Dragon. And it is a book about Jason and Lizzy and their confrontation with a new character. So,
Do you want to find fame as a writer, or are you just doing this because you love to write?
I do it because I love to write. I think fame is overrated, ultimately. I'm just a person like anybody else, and I just want to share the story and meet people and know that they're enjoying the story. Fame is fickle, so it is what it is.
All right, thanks for talking.
Yeah, no problem. It was great to meet you.
Do you have a pen?
I do have a pen. Pass me one. I have several. Yeah, actually, they're just over on the table. So, you want an autograph, I assume? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Am I writing this to you?
Yes,
Okay. Can I put a special message in there too?
if you want.
Okay.
Thanks for watching Nico Show. See you next time. Bye.